Hello everyone, the day has finally arrived. Our new Seafarer is in stock and I couldn't be more excited for this watch. It reflects a couple years of learning. Some of you might know that every single watch that goes out, the very next one I try to make an improvement on. Based on customer feedback, based on preferences, based just on trying to make the watch as good as possible. And Seafarer was no exception. As popular as the first gen was, it's a great watch. And just to let everybody know, in no way is this review going to be, talking bad about this watch. This watch has been a great watch for us. It's a nice, reliable watch. It's got really good weight to it. And this is one of the, best watches we had for quite a while. However, as with anything, you can always improve. And so when I looked at this one and I thought, what are some of the ways that we can improve it for the next generation? Came up with a few ideas and now you're able to look at them. This is our new Seafarer. On first glance, what you'll notice is that the case size is noticeably smaller. The first gen Seafarer was a big watch, 46 millimeter. We have now reduced that down to 43 millimeter. The other major change you'll notice is the bracelet itself. On the original, it was a 22 millimeter thick bracelet all the way around. And the reason that that was needed was because the case size was so big, you needed to have that balance on your wrist. With a 43, we can get a little bit more creative. And so you'll notice that on the 43, we actually have added a taper design to this. So it goes from that 22 down to an 18. And this will wear on your wrist, give you a little bit more freedom of movement, and it won't feel quite as heavy and chunky on your wrist. Moving on to the case itself, when we shrank the case, one of the things that I asked for was a little bit more polishing. So you'll see on the original, it's very brushed. It's not very polished on the case. On the new Seafarer, you'll see how that changed a bit. So we've added a little bit more polishing on the edges here to help kind of give it an extra dimension and kind of bring it upscale a little bit more with how it looks. Now you still have obviously some brush finishes here, but I feel like adding some of that polishing in has helped to elevate the case a little bit further. Next you'll notice is that the bezel on the old Seafarer was aluminum. No lume was available on this because it's aluminum. And on the new Seafarer, we went with ceramic, and ceramic with BGW9 lume. So now at night, you'll be able to see what's on the bezel. The bezel is really a nice story here. First generation, you can hear the clicks here, right? And there's a decent amount of bezel play here. Second generation, you hear that? And look, there's not nearly as much bezel play. So that's one of the things that we also improved with the new case. Now, moving to the hands, you'll notice on the first generation, they're very slender. And while they're the sword hands that I like to put on my watches, try to get some more focus here, they're a little small for that size of a dial. And so what I really wanted to do was enhance that and bring more lume as well to it so you can see it more clearly at night with that upgraded bezel. I think we succeeded here. I also wanted to bump up the font size on Seafarer and the automatic and the dive rating so it's more visible. When you look at the old watch, it's kind of faint. On the camera right now, you're seeing like it's hard to pick up, right? It's the same for your eye. So we bumped that up. The other change, which you've already noticed, I'm sure, is this was a piano black dial, an absolutely beautiful dial. Big fan of piano black dials. On the new one, I wanted to add some dimension to it though. And so I'm paying tribute here to the Omega Speedmaster quite a bit, or Seamaster, I'm sorry. And I added some waves to the dial, which, let's see if I can get that on camera. You see those waves? They are cut into that dial And apologies for my phone not doing a great job here, but you can see the wave cutouts here. And so that really shows up in different light settings. You can see the ridges, which are deeply cut into the dial, which is quite nice. And so that was the other change to the dial that we wanted to make.